I'm really happy to be able to welcome in Brian Shaw, Kobe's teammate, friend. And Brian, I can't even imagine what it was like just before the service as you guys were all gathering together and just sort of mixing. What were you guys saying to each other?
Well, you know, you try to find a silver lining in all of this. And so that part was nice because you got to see teammates and opponents and what have you and entertainers that you admire all come together and be able to just kind of connect and say, hey, we have to do a better job of staying in contact with one another. We have to do a better job of bringing our kids who grew up together around each other and exposing them to all of this greatness that we're all around. And that for me was the best part of it all. Mm-hmm. To be able to just get back together. You think about it, we spent so much time with each other.
Yeah.
Whether it was on the plane or the bus ride, let alone playing the games and practices and going out to dinner, a lot of times more time than we spent with our own families. And so, it's a shame that sometimes when the game is over and you retired and moved on, that it just stops, and it shouldn't. And so I think that's something that this made everybody aware of, and we're all going to be better because of it.
It is so striking to hear that from you guys. I've heard that from so many other players. We, of course, have heard Shaquille O'Neal talk about the fact that he hadn't spoken to Kobe since Kobe's retirement.
Last game, I couldn't believe that.
Right?
And the crazy thing, like, he talks to Sharif.
Right, Shaq's son.
Yeah, that stunned me.
Right? And I don't think it was out of some grudge. Obviously, I was there that night of Kobe's retirement game. Shaq was screaming the loudest for him, but sometimes you just don't connect, right?
Well, you grow up and, so you take young Kobe, young Shaq and teammates, and you're at a different stage in life.
Yep.
And then, you go through a 15, 20-year career, you retire, and then your interests move on, you're doing business, you're watching your own kids, and it takes away, from the time that you spent with one another. And I don't think that it's anything that's done on purpose. It's just something that naturally happens. And unfortunately, it takes something like this to put everything in perspective and bring everybody back together, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
One of the most moving things in the whole aftermath of the Kobe thing for me in regards to this was Shaq on the TNT broadcast in the empty Staples Center kind of breaking down and looking at Ernie and Chuck and Kenny and saying, I don't call you guys enough. I don't text you guys. I don't spend time enough with you. And we're like, everyone gets busy and time just goes by, and like you just don't really notice it happening.
Absolutely. And Shaq was so moving today. Michael Jordan so moving. Take a listen to some of the things they had to say.
I wanted to be the best big brother that I could be. To do that, you had to put up with the aggravation, the late night calls, or the dumb questions. I took great pride as I got to know Kobe Bryant that he was just trying to be a better person, a better basketball player. We talked about business. We talked about family. We talked about everything. And he was just trying to be a better person.
The day Kobe gained my respect was the guys were complaining. Said, Shaq, Kobe's not passing the ball. I said, I'll talk to him. I said, Kobe, there's no I in team. And Kobe said, I know, but there's an in me in that.
And that is perfect. We will hear, by the way, a little bit more from Michael Jordan later. I was so struck, first of all, that Michael Jordan spoke, because those of us in basketball know that is such a rarity. The NBA All-Star game was just in Chicago. He didn't speak publicly at that. He did a small video recording. That was it. I love that Michael's talking about Kobe basically pestering him into having this relationship, which is perfect, and Kobe deciding, I'm going to be this close to the man I idolized growing up, and he's going to make that happen, whether it takes, no matter how many phone calls. Anything like that is amazing. And then, of course, the Michael Jordan bringing up the crying meme was perfect.
That was an all-timer.
As well.
And you know what it did? It humanized it for all of us because, obviously everybody, admires Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. And to see him, tears stream down his face, it makes it okay for everybody else to let that emotion out. And, you know, so that was, I thought that was awesome, you know, that he got up there in front of all those people and expressed himself and let it flow. We all have to grieve, we all have to mourn, and we have to let it out, and he made it okay.
I thought it was an all-time moment for basketball people because, you know, Michael's Hall of Fame speech, whether you liked it because it was quintessential Michael or whether you thought it was a little maybe off, it didn't leave the best taste in everybody's mouth, whether you liked it because it was him or not. This was, everyone I think was curious when he got up there, and it was just, I really don't remember seeing Michael Jordan ever like that, and it was something because of that, and it was the exact right note, and something I think all of us will always remember.
Graceful, generous, some things that, again, in his Hall of Fame speech, he had to be defiant, right? He had to get in those final last licks. There was none of that here, and it was about that relationship. T-Mac, can you explain to people, even just explain to people a little bit, how much Kobe Bryant idolized Michael Jordan?
Yo, telling you, we used to be in the room, and he'd have like "Come Fly with Me," playground. He would watch all these home videos of Michael Jordan, and I caught him like rewinding certain moments of Michael, how he walked, how he talked, and he was just really studying what Michael was doing, and he was mimicking that, like certain walks, like Mike walks, and. You know, I was like, what the hell are you doing? He was like, that was my guy. I want to be better than him in my career when it's all said and done. And that's what he was shooting for. Like Mike was the bar and he was shooting to be better than Michael Jordan. I'd be damned if he didn't come close to accomplishing that.